to start a podcast. And we are back. First of all, I'd like to start by saying Ramadan Mubarak for all the brothers and sisters out there fasting this Ramadan. Ramadan 2024. We are we have made it, Alhamdulillah. It's been a whole year now since we last did this, and inshallah khair. Inshallah, we try to stay consistent. I was fairly consistent last year. Inshallah, better this year. So, episode one, day one of Ramadan. Well, not even episode one. We're going to continue the episode numbering as we had before. That's probably the easiest way of going about it. But I thought I should really have a plan for this Ramadan, not just aimlessly kind of gliding throughout, making day by day episodes. Uh, so I want to try to learn things, and hopefully share it with you guys. Beneficial for everybody, especially for me, and hopefully everyone who's listening to this. One of the Before I actually get into that other point I had, I want to get into. I would actually love to have some actual scholarly guests on this podcast. So hopefully I can make that happen somehow. Not really sure how, but you know, we'll put that out there, and then hopefully we can get somebody who could, I could talk to, probably shed some information, share some knowledge, and be beneficial for not just me, everyone who's listening. Now, for today, it's one of those things I have thought about for a long time. And alhamdulillah, it's not like a question I had as a question of doubt, but more of a question of trying to understand why we would do such a thing, and what's the kind of deeper meaning for it. Because in everything we do, especially as Muslims, it seems like we take the first step and agree and follow, and then we kind of figure out later on that there is actual deeper benefits in things that we are doing. And so it really kind of pulls me back to thinking, what is the point of Ramadan? Like, what's the point of this month fasting, where we are trying to figure out I'm gonna rephrase that. I'm trying to figure out what's the point of fasting. I mean, we do it every year, uh, and I've said this before, and I think many people have said this as well as me. But a lot of people, all they do get out of Ramadan is just hunger, and you've epically failed if that's the case. Uh, so I was reading online, and people trying to figure out what's the actual point of fasting. What's the point of fasting every day? This long hours without water, without eating, and fasting from certain types of actions and certain types of behaviors as well. So there is that aspect. I'm probably going to revisit this question after a month of fasting. I know maybe the hunger and the restraint will actually change my view on things, or change, maybe deepen my understanding of it. But for me, it was always about, well, you know, after thinking about it, what I kind of thought it would be about is it is a chance for you to build better habits and things. So you have a whole year where there's always, a million things on your mind, and people are kind of just going through the motions of life, whether it be work, homework, gym, whatever it is. But you have this whole month now that comes up, and it's just a big reset on everything you do. You kind of reprioritize your whole life to just, shorter work hours. You go, you come back, you read Quran, you pray Taraweeh, you do Qiyam Layl, all that kind of stuff. And it really centers you on what's actually important in your life. And I really, really like that habit building aspect of it. I mean, it's almost like a world, especially here when you live in the Middle East. It's like a mandated reset of your life. Stuff gets closed. You know, all the places that maybe as a Muslim you shouldn't be going to are closed. So all of that stuff is kind of restricted. So you can just sit and really, really focus on yourself. And you see a lot of these like people who are very, very much more Muslim during Ramadan, you know, I do hope that a lot of them manage to build habits that are longer lasting than just 29 days. You know, I always hope, and I'm sure there is cases like that that happen. Uh, maybe not. I haven't seen that many, and maybe I'm not looking. But yeah, I don't know. I think people are just kind of stuck in their ways. But the whole idea of this is build a habit for long enough that you know you do kind of push through and you change and you are doing that positive change for the better. There is also the other talk, especially a lot of people say like, "What's the point of Ramadan?" People say, "Well, it's to feel and to empathize with people who are much less fortunate, especially with our brothers and sisters in Gaza right now. I mean, tomorrow you'll feel hunger for 12 hours, and you have so many of them there that are just been hungry for weeks, months on end, you know, skipping meals, all that kind of stuff. And that really, really builds you that empathy towards them. And, you know, as a side note, I do believe that whether it's in your means, if it is in your means, you should try to do as much as you can to help our brothers and sisters out there because, you know, God knows they do need it. And inshallah, you know, God does make it easier for them, however He deems fit to do so. So that's kind of me for day one. Uh, you know, just a quick one today, but yeah, like hopefully we can execute on this. And you know, I do want to be a bit more introspective this month. I do want to try to help others as much as I can. Try to be the better version of myself. I do want to kind of ease down on a lot of like those kind of niggly little bad habits that seem to creep up and really really ramp up before Ramadan. Uh, not gonna go over what they are, but yeah, just you know, be the best. And yeah, try to enjoy as much as you know, try to enjoy Ramadan. I know it's very, very hard now to feel any sort of joy in anything really, but it's not really, that's me. And I think every other Muslim on earth would feel this way, especially when we have brothers and sisters out there suffering. You know, let's do our best. Let's really focus on the ibadah. Let's focus on everything that we could do, and inshallah, you know, things get better. Let's see. Day one, we're done. Out.